Man, I can't even lie. This is exactly the kind of stuff that gets me fired up. Like, genuinely excited. We just got another insider gem on the San Francisco 49ers, and I've been itching to talk about it. Now, before we dive deep into it, I want you to ask yourself something. On a scale from 1 to 10, where's your confidence at with this 49ers offense right now? I know that number can vary a lot depending on what you're thinking about. And honestly, I get it. Whether you're leaning toward a 4 or feeling confident enough to go all the way up to a 10, I can understand your reasoning. I'll be real. If you're hovering around the lower end of the scale, there are legitimate concerns that could bring your confidence down. We're talking about age, injuries, depth questions, guys not performing up to their potential recently. It's a lot. There's this cloud of what if that can hang over a team, especially when the margin for error in the NFL is razor thin. You look at guys like Deebo Samuel. Yes, an absolute X factor when he's on, but also someone who hasn't quite been the same since he got paid. I'm not throwing shade. I'm just stating what's happened. Last season wasn't great for him, and there's a real question about whether he can bounce back in a big way. But then again, you could swing to the other extreme. You could be the fan that's like, you know what? Kyle Shanahan finally has the kind of balance and freedom he needs. And I'd be right there with you. Because if Shanahan doesn't have to micromanage the defense like he's had to in the past when things were falling apart on that side, and he can just lock into his offensive genius, that's dangerous for everyone else. You've got guys like Robert Saleh and DeMeco Ryans who were trusted to lead that unit, and now Steve Wilks is another mind in that same lane. You've got continuity, structure, and a head coach who can finally call plays without distractions. And let's not gloss over what the team's done in terms of locking down cornerstone players. Brock Purdy, for all the early doubt, is now solidified as QB1. The front office doubled down on that belief. And George Kittle, they basically said, you're here for the rest of your career. And that's exactly how it should be. He's not just a monster on the field. He's the emotional core of this offense. Injuries or not, Kittle finds a way to impact the game, to show up in big moments and bring that grit, that edge, that energy the 49ers thrive on. But like I said, it's not all sunshine. Losing someone like Deebo, if he doesn't bounce back, that's a blow. Even though his performance has dipped since the contract, it's not just about the stats. It's about what he represents. A guy like that, when he's in form, shifts the entire dynamic of the offense. So if he's not performing, that's not just a minor hiccup. It's a strategic recalibration. Now I said I couldn't wait to get to this story. So let's jump in. This thing hit home for me. When I was younger, my dad wasn't really around much. But there were a couple of men in my church who stepped up, mentored me, and gave me a sense of direction. One of the biggest lessons they ever gave me was this. Leaders lead and titles follow. That stuck with me to this day. You can slap a title on anyone, but if they don't know how to lead, that title is meaningless. And on the flip side, when someone is a natural-born leader, people start giving them those titles because they've already earned it through action. That brings me to Brock Purdy. That man is the walking embodiment of that lesson. The guy was pick number 262, Mr. Irrelevant, and yet he's led from the front ever since he stepped on the field. He's not flashy. He's not out here trying to be a celebrity. He's just about his business, and that's what makes him not just likable, but deeply respected by everyone in that locker room. You want proof? Just listen to what Sam Darnold said. This was part of a fantastic piece by Jennifer Lee Chan, and in it, Darnold basically lays it all out. He said Brock helped him a ton with how to prepare, how to process on the field, and how to handle himself whether things were going good or bad. He praised Brock's poise, how he celebrates with his teammates, stays locked in, and keeps the same steady demeanor no matter what's going on. But more than anything, he said Brock showed him how to study, how to get into the mental side of the game. We're talking about Sam Darnold, former number 3 overall pick in the 2018 draft, saying that in his 6th year in the NFL, it was the guy taken dead last in 2022 who finally showed him how to prepare. Let that sink in. This is a guy who played for the Jets, then the Panthers, and now finally finds himself growing as a quarterback under Brock Purdy's guidance. That's wild. That's leadership. That's what happens when someone sets the tone just by how they show up every day regardless of the spotlight. And let's not pretend Darnold didn't benefit. He had arguably the best stretch of his career. Looked sharper, got a contract he might not have landed otherwise. Some of that is on him for putting in the work. but he himself credits Brock Purdy for helping him level up. And look, Brock got paid too, and he earned every penny of it. I don't even care what the specific numbers were. What matters is the value, and it was a fair one. With the way the cap is rising and the market is moving, that deal was more than reasonable. He's now being compensated like the kind of quarterback. He's proven to be not just a guy who can manage a game, but one who can elevate the entire system. But here's the kicker. Even with all that success, there's still room to grow. Brock was at the bottom of the league last season in check down percentage. That's something I'm keeping an eye on. I don't want him to turn into a check down machine, but there's a balance. There were moments last season when he was forcing the ball downfield, missing safer, smarter plays that could have extended drives and protected the ball. That's part of growth. Learning to see the field fully, not just looking for the highlight. And of course, part of that falls on who's in the backfield. We had a situation where Christian McCaffrey got hurt, Elijah Mitchell got banged up, Jordan Mason was unavailable, and suddenly we're looking at guys like Patrick Taylor Jr. No disrespect to him, but he's not the guy you build your game plan around. And you could see Brock hesitate in those situations, not having the same trust in the check down option that he does when CMC is back there. Speaking of McCaffrey, let's talk about what Sam Darnold had to say about him too in that same round of interviews. He called Christian the most internally motivated person he's ever met. And you know what? That tracks. You don't get to the level McCaffrey's at, not just physically, but mentally, unless you have that fire inside. No outside noise, no headlines, no critics. He's just driven to prove to himself that he can be better every single day. And Kyle Shanahan chimed in too. He said McCaffrey is as healthy as can be right now, and that their focus is actually on holding him back a little, protecting him from himself because he'll push way past the limit if you let him. That's the thing with a guy like Christian. He doesn't know how to slow down. He's the one always sprinting through practice reps like it's the Super Bowl. And you love that intensity. You just have to manage it smartly. Shanahan even said that McCaffrey is doing less than usual right now in OTAs, which is by design, but that Christian is feeling great and ready to explode into the season, and that's exactly what I want to see. A healthy, fully ramped up Christian McCaffrey is a total game changer for this team. He had time last year to get into rhythm before that late season injury, and now he's had a full off season to recover, recalibrate, and come back even stronger. That's a scary thought for defenses across the league, because when McCaffrey is at his best, it makes everyone else better. It gives Deebo more space. It helps Brock get comfortable. It forces defenses to adjust and opens up Shanahan's playbook in ways we haven't even fully seen yet. And I know, some of you are still worried about the offensive line. I hear you. It's a valid concern. The front office seems to be prioritizing other areas, and whether or not that's the right move is up for debate. But what's not up for debate is that this offense, when healthy, has the tools to be elite. I'm talking top 5 in the league kind of potential, and that's why my confidence level is sitting at around a 7.5. If everyone stays healthy, I'm talking full strength, all the weapons clicking, I'm at a 10, no doubt. But that if is always the caveat. Injuries are the wild card. You lose 1 or 2 key guys and suddenly everything gets harder. But as far as the scheme, the talent, the leadership, all the boxes are checked. Shanahan is still that dude. The league respects him for a reason. And now he's got the chance to really lean into his offensive identity without having to worry about carrying the defense. We're just getting started with this breakdown. There's so much more to dig into, from training camp strategy to player development and how this team plans to manage reps, especially with guys like McCaffrey. Stick with me. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. San Francisco may be heading into a whirlwind of speculation after Christian McCaffrey's recent, unexpectedly glowing comments about fellow 49ers star Brandon AIYUK. While off-season chatter is often filled with noise, McCaffrey's words have stirred whispers across the league. Could something bigger be brewing behind the scenes? During a recent appearance, McCaffrey raised eyebrows when he went out of his way to shower AIYUK with high praise, calling him one of the most underrated complete receivers in the league. While the compliment itself seems harmless on The surface, it's the timing and tone that have set the rumor mill spinning. Insiders are wondering, was this just a teammate hyping up another, or was McCaffrey hinting at something deeper? Perhaps a new leadership role for AIYUK, a potential offensive shift, or even an impending contract move. Sources close to the organization have suggested that McCaffrey's comments might reflect growing internal discussions about AIYUK's future in San Francisco. Coming off a career season and entering a pivotal year, AIYUK is poised for either a major breakout or a high-profile transition. Some fans are speculating that McCaffrey's words could be laying the groundwork for a long-term commitment to AIYUK, especially as the team navigates tough salary cap decisions. Others, however, are reading McCaffrey's remarks differently, perhaps as a nudge to the front office or even a message to the wider league. Could the 49ers be positioning AIYUK as a centerpiece of the offense, or are they quietly showcasing his value for a potential trade? What's clear is that Christian McCaffrey doesn't speak lightly. His calculated, sincere demeanor makes his statements all the more intriguing. And when a player of his caliber makes a point to single out a teammate with such enthusiasm, people listen. For now, it's all speculation. But as training camp approaches and roster decisions loom, don't be surprised if McCaffrey's comments prove to be more than just off-season flattery. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.